Uh, for big companies as well as startups, especially for the startups to make their business successful, there are a couple of things they have to think about. The first element of the successful startup is entrepreneurs or founder himself. We emphasize the entrepreneurship a lot in building the startups. Why? The entrepreneurship or the founder, an excellent founder with the excellent entrepreneurship may make the successful startups in their journey of doing the businesses. Okay, a man who has a great resilience, a man who do not afraid of the failures, and then a man who ventures into taking the risks, and a man who has a great network with a lot of capable people. All the things are related to the entrepreneurships. Entrepreneurship may be defined as the capability of mobilizing a lot of available resources around himself and putting together those resources to create a great values to the customers and delivers the great value to the customers. That's the entrepreneurships. So in case of the serial entrepreneur who make a success in a lot of different startups, we call him serial entrepreneur, like Elon Musk of the Teslas. And he has been so successful in developing new startups as a new business. So if we see that from the case of the great entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, we think entrepreneurship or the founder is one of the most important factors for the success of the startups. And there are some other factors for the success of the startups. The great ideas, the great business ideas might be one of them. As I have told you in the previous class, there are systematic ways of developing the business ideas. That's the design thinking is one of the structured way in developing the business ideas with 5 steps. The first step was emphasize, the second step was define, the third step was ideate, the fourth step is prototype, and then the final step of the design thinking is the test. So throughout those 5 steps and doing this process again and again, we may create very powerful business ideas. And which one do you think is more important between great entrepreneurship or great business ideas? Both are important, but in evaluating which businesses to invest more, venture capitalists may give more weight on the capabilities of the founders, the excellent entrepreneurships, rather than business ideas. Business idea is one thing, but managing the businesses with those ideas are more important. So the skills of the entrepreneur is more important than the business idea itself. Okay, what are the others? What are the others for the successful the startups? there might be some of the things like the market researches. Once you have a great business idea, instead of just entering to the new markets, you have to do some basic analysis about the markets, which are quite similar to the analysis we have already done in one of our classes. It's about market analysis or the industry analysis to identify how attractive the market is, and then who are the competitors, and then what are the basic needs and wants of the customers. So once we decide that the target market of our business we want to enter is attractive, and then that's a good sign. So it's better for us to enter the attractive market rather than unattractive markets. Okay, so great entrepreneurship, great business ideas, and great market throughout the market researches, all are very important. Okay, and also writing a great business plan is also important. Why do we write a business plan? Because in order to get outside investment for your business, you may have to prepare something for the purpose of the communicating with the outside investors. So if you write the fantastic business plan, you may have a better chance of getting the investment from the outside. So those are the elements for the successful entrepreneurs. But more importantly, I think business model is more important in building the successful entrepreneurs rather than founders' entrepreneurship, great business ideas, great market research data, or enough money from the investors. Okay, now let's have a look at the 9 building blocks of a business model according to the Alex Oswald. Okay, now let's talk about the 9 building blocks of a business model. Okay, the first element of the business model is customer segments. Which customers and users are we serving? Which jobs do we really want to get done? So in building the business strategy, we try to analyze who are the customers and what are the needs and wants of the customers. So it's related to the customer analysis, which we have already covered in building the business models. So in developing the business model, the first thing we have to do is identifying who we want to serve. So who would be our target customers? So there are a lot of different groups of the customers as the target customers. We may choose the generation Z, the people in their 20s as our target group, or we can choose the active seniors in their 50s and 60s as our target groups, or we can select the professional, the employees working in a big companies as our target group, or we can select the housewives as our target groups. So depending on our selections or the determination about target customers, the way how we generate and how we deliver the values are totally different. So creating the business model is more fundamental than building the business strategies. There could be a lot of different strategies, but once you decide, once you find a working business model, and that's more fundamental things. That's the fundamental way of creating your values to the customer, and then how you want to do the businesses. So once you develop your business model, and then according to your business model, you may think about a lot of strategic ways of achieving the targets. So as a startup, you may think, okay, I wanna target the people in their 20s as our target groups, and then you set the vision to achieve a certain sales volumes, sales numbers in 5 years. And then the natural way of thinking flow is that once you decide the targets you want to achieve in 5 years, you may list up a lot of different strategic ways to achieve the targets. One is developing a new products, and the other is focusing on the existing products and something like that. So business model is more fundamental than building the strategies, but focusing on the customers who are willing to pay is the same in building the business model and also building the strategies. So one of the most important things we have to think about in building the business model is who are the customers we would like to serve. Okay, that's the element number one. And the second element we have to think about is the value propositions, which I have emphasized a couple of times. There is a present box in the middle of this slide. So the present box is actually the physical product or services we are supposed to deliver. The most important thing is not the physical box, but something inside the box is more important. That's the values. So what are the values you offer to them? How is your offering solve their pain points? So your offering should satisfy the needs and wants of the customers. And the customers may suffer some inconveniences which cannot be satisfied from the existing products and services. And your products should be unique enough to solve their pain points. Okay, that can be a lot of different. So a lot of things might be your values. So cheap price, that can be one of the powerful values. The customer may get some satisfaction from buying the products. The products are identical, but in case your product price is significantly lower than those of the competitors, and then the customer may like your product because you may provide a low price to the customers. Okay, or one of the values you may create and deliver is the inconveniences or the conveniences. As I used as an example the convenience store and then discount stores. If you buy a huge volume and you may get some discount. So even though it takes a long time to drive to the discount store, at some time discount store was really popular, but as the member of the household becomes fewer and fewer, and a lot of household cannot afford to buy the huge volumes of the items at once. So instead, they simply go to the convenience store of their nearby and buy small size of the items more frequently, right? So in that case, convenience store provides the value of convenience to the customers. There are also a lot of different values you may create and provide to the customers. And then the third element of the business model is channels. Channel is all the physical or hard infrastructures to deliver the values you created to the customers who may need such values. Okay. Traditionally, the off-site channels such as department stores or road shops were the typical channels of delivering your values and meeting the target customers. But under the new economy of the digital transformation, there are a lot of online channels who can meet where we can meet the customers. And a lot of online unicorns are using the online channels like Google's or the Kakao's. All the companies meet their companies through the online channels. Okay, so as the importance of the online channel increases, so we have to think about, as a startup, what could be our main channels. Either we can create our own online channels, online applications, or we can simply use the marketplace such as Kakao or Google or the Facebooks. And in case we used to have our offline channels, we also have to think about how to balance the investment, how to balance in meeting the customers between the channels of between the offline and online channels. One of the options might be just use the online channel as the supplemental channel to offline channels. We still focus on offline channels, but we provide some information about our products and services online, so the clients may quickly search all the items of ours through the online, and then they can visit the offline stores for purchase, to buy the products. Or we may have the online channel as our main channels, and we still maintain offline channels, but that can be used as the showrooms for the companies to visit and compare and experience the products or the services we provide. And those are about the channels. And then the next element of the business model is customer relationships. If we say that the channels are the infrastructure or the hardware of connecting our values to the customer's needs, and we can say that the customer relationships are the softwares connecting our values to our values and the customer needs. So in the customer relationships, we have to ask what relationships are we establishing with the customers, whether the relationships we are establishing with is very customized or the personal services or automated services. If we provide a very some luxurious products or the the services to the very rich people, and then one of the values we provide is to customize the services, and then the customer relationship should be very personal. But in case our product is targeting the very price and cost sensitive ordinary people, and then we may provide our products or the services through the automated channels. So let's assume that you are a commercial banks and there are lots of the customers for your banks, and then if you provide your products and services for the rich people, and you may have your own you may have a different branches, and the bank branches for the rich people may look like the very luxurious hotel, and if the customers go there, and then all the services are very customized. And on the contrary, in order to serve a lot of customers in the most cost efficient way, a lot of banks are installing the automatic teller machines where you can deposit or withdraw your monies very quickly, but without any interaction with the teller at the counter of the bank branches. So in that case, most of the services are automated. And also, if you go to the restaurant to buy something to eat, there are a lot of different selections of the restaurants. If you go to the fine restaurant in the luxurious hotel, there will be a lot of the steps who want to serve the food to you. And if you go to the fast food restaurant, and in a lot of cases, the receptionist is not a person, but there will be the automated machine, and you can choose all the menus by pushing the button on the machine, and if the order is made, and then the food will be ready, not very through the machines. So it's automated services, things like that.